November is a month when many faith traditions and religions honor the dead. It's often talked about as All Souls Month, and I like to think about the souls that I've lost during this time of year, but I also like to think about the people that might be struggling right now and not know how to navigate through their own journey of grief. And so this video is for you if you are struggling with a loss, or if you know someone who is, or if you're a practitioner who works with people who are experiencing loss. I'm Kate Holt. I'm a business mentor for holistic entrepreneurs, and I'm also a holistic practitioner. And I help people through many different kinds of challenges, including those who struggle with losing someone they love. So today I've got 5 keys that I think really support healing from loss. I speak from my own healing journey from when I lost my son 11 years ago, but also from the many people that I've supported over the years. And so here's key number 1. Key number 1 is that this is a process that affects your whole being. It's every aspect of your life is affected, but every aspect of you is affected in terms of your mind. Like, you might have a shorter attention span, which is why I'm keeping this just to 5 short keys. You might have difficulty concentrating at the level of your body when the emotional intensity is so high that sometimes the leftovers will process through your body. You may feel it physically. You may feel energetically depleted in your body. Emotionally, I think that's obvious, but there's a whole range of emotions that people might feel during going through this journey of coming to terms with a loss, including anger, sadness, disappointment, regret, denial, so many ways of processing it emotionally. Through the spirit, it could become a crisis of faith for some people. For other people, their faith gets strengthened at a time when they know their only way to really stay connected is through a spiritual connection. And the fourth, or the fifth one, the fourth level is the will. And so the second key has to do with that will, and that is that it's important to foster a belief that you can heal from this loss. So there's much in the culture that, first of all, doesn't really give us the space to mourn that we need. You know, people get 2 days off from work when they've lost someone in their immediate family. It speaks to how little we honor the grieving process in this culture. But the other thing that kind of gets propagated through the culture is that you'll never be the same, and that you can't heal from this. And I want to say that's not true. I want to stand for healing. And so I ask you, if you know someone who's struggling, you can be the person who holds that belief for them, even when they can't believe it. And it may not be about telling them not to feel their pain. It's not even telling them anything necessarily. It's just holding in you the belief and the knowing that they can heal from this loss. So that was the second key. The third key, I think, is time. Everybody's on their own time frame. How ready you were for the loss that happened. Was it sudden? Was it a long drawn out illness? Were you in a place where you had really good coping skills or a good support system? All of these are factors in how long it takes someone to heal after a loss. And there's some prescriptives out there that would say, if you are well adjusted, you'll be at this stage at this time. And I think we need to really honor that every loss is different, and that every person experiencing loss is different. And that will affect the timing for them as they move through the grief journey. And it is a journey, and it is work. The fourth is get support. It's so important with all those emotional reactions that I was describing, that you have someone, or maybe more than one someone, who can hold you in that energy, who can hold you in those emotional expressions so that that energy can move through you. So it could be a trusted friend, a therapist, it could be a bereavement support group, but please get someone who has the presence to be able to stay with you in intense emotion. You know, and it doesn't have to be all at once. In fact, it can't be all at once. It's over time that you need that. And that's why you may need more than one someone to be present with you as you express all the feelings that need to flow. And then the fifth one is about balance. I think it's really important to find a balance between time alone and time with others. So sometimes what happens is there can be a lot of anxiety, fear that if you get out with people, you might not be able to control your emotions. And so sometimes people tend to isolate for that reason. And so that's time alone, right? But there also could be an actual really important aspect of having time alone that has to do with your spiritual connection, has to do with having quiet so that you could actually receive signs from your loved one who's passed and hear messages that you need to hear, both from through the veil or internally, that will support you. But then on the other side, I think it's really important for you to be with people who also loved your loved one so that you can stay connected through the love that you all felt for the person who's gone. And people who do love you, who may not be experiencing the grief at the level that you are, they still love you and they may have a need to support you. And so you have a need to receive that support. It meets their need to give it to you, and it meets your need to receive it. So finding that balance between time alone, isolate if you have to, meditate, quiet yourself if you have to, and then honoring when it's time to be around people. So it could be that you get an invitation to go to something really festive and it doesn't feel right, but maybe you go and you give yourself permission to leave when you want to leave, and maybe you even get a support person who would support you in getting out the door when it's time for you to go. So finding that balance. So again, the 5 keys, this is a whole being process. 2, it's really important to foster the belief that you can heal. 3 is about your time frame. Everyone is different, and honoring that. 4, getting support, getting someone who can be present with you as you go through these feelings. And 5, finding that balance between alone time and connected time with the people who love you. I hope this is helpful for you. So please share this video with anyone you know who may be struggling or knows someone who is struggling. And if you reach out to me, I can certainly give you resources, and maybe I can support you, and maybe I can be that person for you who holds you in those unbelievable, intense emotions that need to be expressed. I'm Kate Holt, and I appreciate you sharing this video with someone who might really need it.